morning, midday, nighttime, midnight. Is that the order? You might find out, and I don't know about that with Jim Jefferies. See, right now, many of you are thinking, but that was the order. And that's,
or is it?
Yeah, that's the trick.
Depends.
And it depends. Are you a shift worker?
Time's a social
Yeah,
construct.
what time are you waking up?
Yeah, exactly. I decided to change me look up today. I shaved me beard off because I was so upset by the last podcast looking like Forrest. I also want to wear my glasses, but I can't do it if we get the.
I'll bring different glasses.
No, because we have the same glasses.
No, I have a different color.
But then I thought, what would really set this off? I got the Peaky Blinders hat, right? Bit more fun.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
Boy,
it's a lot more fun. He pulls it off.
It looks good.
What would you do?
He does look like he would rob me in a dark alley.
If there's a scene in Peaky Blinders and they go, introducing new character.
Yeah.
The Australian.
My name would be Aussie Dave or something, who came over on a boat to come over.
What's your storyline?
Oh, I'm a razor blade maker. Oh, I picked up the accent real quick.
You make razor blades?
Yeah, and I sell the razor blades to the Peaky Blinders to put in their hats, right?
Yeah.
But it's sadly like season 5, they're already rich and everything, so they won't need them. But the younger blinders might do it. I come in.
I'll bring. I have other reading glasses I can bring in.
That's all right. I don't mind looking that much like you. I'm not that offended. I'm just glad I didn't wear my Shakira T-shirt. Things could have gone completely tits up.
Do you know what today is?
But now when the guest shows up, don't mention the hat. I just want the person to think that this is my everyday hat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he'll buy it.
Do you know what today is?
My special came out.
Yeah.
Well, also, it's your birthday.
It's your birthday.
Happy
You say it's my birthday.
Happy birthday. We recorded this 2 weeks in advance.
Okay, so it's my birthday, and so my special's out, so I'm either being abused online or no one's watched the fucking thing.
Or beloved.
I would say both.
A bit of love.
Yeah.
Bit of love, bit of me complaining that not enough people are watching it.
You might get a text from a relative going, I saw your special.
Yeah, me searching Netflix all day going, why am I not on the front page? Just getting angry.
Do you watch stand-up specials on your TV?
I've watched mine just to see how they sort of turn
Then I
out.
feel like it should push you. But
then they get upset like it's about retention. So if someone watches 5 minutes of your special then turns it off, that's not good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like if I start mine, because you always like start it like on your own thing, and then I like leave the room because I'm not going to watch the fucking thing.
Right.
I've already watched the cut already. I'm very happy with this special. It's and I already like the comments that people are leaving me now. Oh, I'm not going to listen to your leftist political shit anymore. It's like, I haven't fucking said a thing about politics on a special in like 3 specials now or something. I think 3, including this one.
you are political, but not left-right political. Just the discussions are political in nature.
Nothing. This special was written during COVID. This one's just about me fucking my wife. And what else do I talk about? Oh, losing me hair.
Yeah.
It's fun stuff.
Yeah.
Talk about watching The Bachelor. I was watching endless,
That's really political.
endless seasons of The Bachelor. I don't even know what else I talk about in the podcast. I talk about hair loss a lot. I get into Jada Pinkett Smith. So if you want to listen to that.
Old school Jefferies is back.
I'll just go ripping into a bald woman. That's always
Savage.
fun. Yeah.
There's a story about seeing Elton John.
Yeah, Elton John. I talk about Elton John. I just saw Elton John again. I've seen this tour like 3 times now. And I only paid once, but people keep going, do you want to come again? So when I was in Melbourne doing the game show, we went to see Elton John, and there was this guy called Molly Meldrum. Now, Molly Meldrum was a bit like Australia's Jimmy Savile, but he wasn't a pedophile. He was a VJ, a bit of a weird guy.
Cool.
Wore a cowboy hat. And he's just always been on TV. He's just one of these blokes that you're told is famous your whole life, right? This is a famous person. And he used to do a show called Countdown, which was obviously the top 40, and he'd count down the tracks and talk in between. Anyway, he'd be 82 or something, but I think he's a bit of an alkie. He's all but dead. He's right on the cusp of dead, right? And he was friends with Elton, and they're both homosexual men. They probably got up to a bit of fun together in the 80s because Elton toured Australia a lot, and he always used to interview him. Maybe not. Maybe they're just work acquaintances, and I'm reading too much into it. But anyway, so Elton...
Not every gay guy fucks every gay guy.
So they came out, and most, but not every.
97%.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so Elton sings The bitch is back. I'm a bitch. And then Molly walks out, right? Molly walks out with two handlers who walk him out.
He's so old, right?
Oh, yeah. But he's not like... He's the same age as my dad, but he's way more frail. The booze and everything. He's just... Yeah. And he walked out and he sort of hunched over and he sort of waved and he gives, Elton a kiss on the lips. Controversial. Anyway, and
he said he has the cowboy hat. And
he has the cowboy hat. If you can Google
he's
pictures.
Jack, but old.
You can Google pictures. Molly Meldrum, right? So anyway, Molly gets out there. And then he's standing there and he's trying to sing in the microphone. So he's like, Elton's like, I'm a bitch, and the bitch is back. And he's like, I'm going to tell you a matter of fact. Like, that was the level of singing, right? And then he thought...
Was the place going crazy then? Or
no, the place is going crazy. This is this is 50...
That's not what I was picturing at all.
No, yeah, well, I'm about to tell you what happened. So 50,000 people going crazy. Molly, like this, right? So what do you do when you're old and you're uncancelable and you're like, towards the end of your life, you drop your dacks. So he dropped his pants and then he mooned the crowd. Nah, not for me. I was in the fourth row. I saw his dick. I saw his dick very vividly. Very vividly. The camera saw his ass. And then his carers were like, fucking hell, Molly. And even Elton was like, class the place up, will you?
It looks like he has a device on his butt.
No, that's a tattoo. That's a tattoo.
That's a tattoo?
He's old.
Yeah, his ass.
It's all wrinkled.
That looks like a device.
His ass looks like it's melting off
Holy
the edge.
Lord.
Right? Anyway, so he's there with his ass hanging out, and then the audience is going crazy, and then his carer's like, "That's enough, Molly," and then Elton's like, "All right, Molly," and then Molly goes to walk off. It takes him more than half of a song to shuffle off, and he can't bend over because he's old, so he's still just got his dick out, and he's just shuffling off the stage. To ironically, I'm still standing, which was the cherry on the whole thing. Right? Anyway, the next day, the Australian news was like this: there's been a terrible incident in Melbourne, right? And then Molly Meldrum reported a wardrobe malfunction. Wardrobe malfunction.
His belt.
He pulled it down. The only malfunction was he couldn't get it back up.
Yeah.
And that leads me to, I'll be in Vegas, or I've just done Vegas. Where am I off? I'll go and see me around the UK.
Ben Salem. I can never say it.
I say Bethlehem.
It's Ben Salem.
No, there is a Ben.
There is a Bethlehem, which you have performed in, but this is Ben Salem.
It's a different place.
Oh, it's a different place.
This is outside of Philadelphia.
The other one's, where's that one?
I think also outside Philadelphia.
I think that one's near Allentown, because I remember driving near Allentown and we're living here. I sang the song.
The other one's near Allentown because all the casinos are made out of old factories.
Yeah.
They look like old factories.
The casino's meant to look decrepit.
Yeah, and then the first time we went there, I remember we were driving to another city and we pulled over and got honey. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember.
And then we went and bought some roadside honey, and it was just some lady or girl that had never heard an Australian accent. She goes, "Where are you from?"
Yeah. She was maybe about 15. Her parents had put her out there to sell the honey on the side of the road. That was her after-school job. And we'll get some roadside honey. And I went, "Hello, how are you?" Oh my God!
It's Razor Blade Dave.
She was floored. This woman had never seen Crocodile Dundee. She'd never.
That's awesome.
Ben Salem, Pennsylvania, February 24th at the Parks Casino Excite Center. Then February 25th, the Coliseum at Caesars Windsor in Windsor, Ontario, which is just over the border from Detroit.
I believe both those gigs are sold out, but see if you can get tickets.
Yeah, you can literally, if you're in Detroit, you can even go to Windsor. If you're in Windsor, you can go there too.
We're landing in Detroit and we're driving over.
Yeah, and then after that, you're in Glasgow and Manchester and so forth. And
all the UK gigs are all but sold, but we did add another one in London, another one in Manchester. I think there's still some tickets in Nottingham, and there's still a few tickets in Dublin. Just check, but like there's certain cities.
There's all sorts of places there. You're going to be there with.
I'm going with two of the guys I started doing comedy with, who are two of the best comedians I've ever seen.
That's awesome.
Andrew Maxwell and Glenn Wall. And at the time, I thought that'll be awesome. The crowds are going to have a really good show with these two awesome comedians. And then I was like, oh man, they've just finished Edinburgh and I've just finished a special. I better pull my finger out, man. They could outshine me real quick. I better put some effort into this. So I'm writing feverishly, the people of Britain. I'm coming.
Sounds like an insult to me and Amos and JJ, but okay.
Okay. I'm just trying to. When I'm on their podcast, I mention you.
Yeah. Easy street.
That's good.
And then there's a bunch of dates in Europe, like all over Europe, except for France. Every country except for France. pretty much.
Yeah, there's no French. But I had one person write to me like, "Why are you not playing Paris? I am famous French comedian." Like that. No, I was reading it like that. He didn't talk to me. It was an email. And no, I've never played Paris for some reason. They have their own comedians.
It's literally every country but France.
Yeah,
I mean, I've looked at the list. It's like
I was surprised you had like Portugal and Spain on the list.
I'm doing Portugal,
Spain, every country.
Yeah.
Poland.
I'm doing
Czechoslovakia,
Iceland,
Belgium,
Finland,
they're all in there.
Yeah, Greece. It's all here.
It's all there.
No Andorra.
I've never done and we were giving shit to the people
Germany.
of Milan. And I'd like to say hello, Milan. Since I gave you shit, you've stepped up to the plate.
Those tickets have been sold?
50% sold.
All right.
50% sold. It's like
Can't fuck in the balcony anymore.
look. There's plenty of other places that are completely sold, and it's still one of the weaker sort of selling gigs. But I thought no one was coming to Milan, and also the Italians. If we wait, and they'll be happy. And so, and I've had a lot of Italians like write to me like, super excited, like that, right? That's how I read it. Yeah. That's how I read
They
it.
just said very excited for your show.
Yeah.
Very excited, yes.
Yeah, bippity boppity.
Belgium, Netherlands. It's like every country. And then on that leg of the tour, Amos and I will be with you.
Yeah.
And then you'll be in Las Vegas again, which I think isn't that the World Series? The World Series of Poker.
I'm going to do the World Series of Poker,
Yeah.
and then I'm also in Vegas, and I've been asked to do a sort of like an acting sort of job in that time, but I think I've done too much traveling, so I'm going to try to family up for the summer. See my kids. You know, that might be nice.
Novel idea.
Well, before you do that in June, you have Reno, Nevada, and on June 23rd and June 24th, you're in, looks like Santa Rosa.
Okay, we ready to do an actual thing? We've talked for a long time.
Yeah.
Right.
Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/IDCat. And follow us on Instagram
Merch.
at IDCat Podcast. I don't think we have a merch site anymore.
No merch.
Toodaloo.
Fuck that. All right. Please. We're starting there, Jim.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
All right. Please welcome our guest, Joseph A. Shepard.
G'day, Joseph. Now it's time to play Yes, No.
Yes, no. Yes, no. Yes, no. Judging a book by its cover.
I just copped up a bit of phlegm. I've had a cold. All right, Joseph. Let me have a look at what you're doing here. Is it? Are we talking about drag queens?
Yes.
Yes. All right. I know the trophy from RuPaul's Drag Race all day. I'm a RuPaul's Drag. I haven't watched RuPaul's Drag Race because my wife doesn't like it, but my ex, Hank's mother, Kate, who we all know,
You're friends with her. I mean,
I know. We're all family. We're all family. But she was mad for it. So there was 5 years that I watched every episode, and now I catch an episode every now and again on a plane. But I once was on a flight with sitting next to Courtney Act, and as a man, she was a man in this scenario. She was a man in this scenario, and I was like, "Oh, I'm your biggest fan." And then I was asking for photos with him and all that type of stuff. And then there was like people coming down the aisle. And it was like cute girls recognizing him, and then ugly fat guys recognizing me. It was just
That's the life.
it was our fan base just walking past us. Just and to all my ugly fat guys listening, hey, happy to have you.
Love ya.
Best fans in the world.
Keep buying 2 seats.
This is 2 episodes in a row that you guessed easy, but we did a pre-interview as well, often do with our guest, and we saw
figured
this,
you would know this right away.
Yeah, the little trophy thing in the background. We were like, yeah, you're gonna get
Now,
it.
Joseph, I assume you're a drag queen.
I'm not a drag queen. I do, however, interviewed drag queens for the past 7-8 years, and that's my main job.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a proper introduction. Joseph A. Shepard went to Georgia State University, where he studied journalism. He has worked on shows such as Rachel Ray, The View, and The Bachelor.
Well, that qualifies you right there. To talk about drag
7 years ago, Joseph began interviewing drag queens, which led him to starting a popular sit-down show on YouTube called Exposed, where he interviews famous drag queens. Now he's hosting Sissy That Talk Show, which is a late night meets chaos meets drag queen series. And you can find that on it's the Mom Podcasts Network, correct? That's
Correct.
What you're on, and it's called Sissy That Talk Show. So check
like
that
Sissy
out.
That Walk. I know all the terms, man. Look, let's do the tea. Come on.
Any other background you want to give us on, like, I mean,
I'm glad I wore this hat and had a moustache just for this episode. I feel like a drag queen connoisseur right now.
Okay. You want to just dive into it then?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I know. Well, if Joseph wants to say something about it.
Yeah, I was saying, Joseph, if there's any other background you want to give us, or is that, I mean...
No, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm very historically in the know of everything, and I try to make sure to always stay up to date in all of my current drag terminology. So I'm ready.
All right. Do you want to hear my drag names? I got drag names.
Well, what we could.
Yes, let's go.
You want to start?
Sandy Bollocks.
Oh, your drag names.
Yeah, these are the ones that I would have. Sandy Bollocks.
Yeah.
Because Sandra Bullock likes to be called Sandy when you meet her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sandy Bollocks.
Yep.
Very good. And then another one is like Estee Lauder, but it's STD. My second name's D. STD.
No. Didn't you have a new one the other day?
Yeah, I can't repeat that one. I'll do that one for you off the air. It's a race you won that one. It could get me cancelled.
Okay.
Can't wait.
Off the air. All right. All right.
It's really bad. I won't even do it in this room where there's microphones. We have to walk out to that space. No, it is. It's fully like one sentence cancelable.
Okay. All right, Joseph. I'm going to ask Jim a series of questions about drag, and at the end of him answering all those questions, you're going to grade him on his accuracy of his answers, 0 through 10, 10 being the best. Kelly's going to grade him on confidence. I'm going to grade him on etc. We're going to add those scores together. If you score 21 through 30, Jim, Shantae, you stay.
Yeah.
11 through 20.
Sashay away.
No, that's 0 through 10.
Oh, okay.
Sashay away.
Okay.
What do you think 11 through 20 is?
If you can't love yourself, who else is going to love you?
That was one of the
up, right?
choices.
But 11 through 20 is Shauna, we aren't quite sure, so don't go anywhere just yet.
Where's lip sync for my life?
No, this is the middle one. We just didn't have, yeah.
Sorry.
But we can lip sync for your life. Do you want to
We'll do that at the end of the show.
Okay, great.
You pick a song.
All right. What is drag?
Drag is what's the best way to say it? Because it's not like trans or anything. It's men dressed as women for comical or beauty pageant, just for fun, really, for fun and entertainment. More importantly,
What are the origins of female impersonation?
It would go back a very long way. There'd be pharaohs that were like, bring out the guy in the wig.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you can go through, in comedy, it was Monty Python and all that type of stuff. They were that's the funniest things they ever did was go, hello, what are you up to? Oh! When they did that was always fun. That's a form of drag in its own right. You know what I mean? Like more comical type of thing. But what's its origins? In the entertainment, I would say there would have been some drag characters in Chaplin movies.
Who is Julian and Eltinge, I think is how you say his name?
I would say he's the founding father of the drag community. He was the first person to have a drag queen bar.
When did drag make the transition into gay culture?
I think it would have been fairly early on. But, like, what do you mean into gay pop culture?
I don't know.
If you're saying like
Kelly wrote these questions.
I think into pop culture, like when it wasn't just like drag show, because I grew up in Sydney, there was a load of drag shows, and Priscilla Queen in the Desert, there's a very rich history of drag in Australia, and so that's what my father used to go to drag shows in the -- in Australia. So,
your dad did?
Yeah. My dad's very open-minded about things like this. Yeah,
he loves hot women.
Yeah. He's homophobic, but he loves a gay entertainer. His favourite entertainers are Elton John and Peter Allen. Right? He's down with the gays. Right?
Yeah.
But he the things they do in their bedrooms. That's the thing he doesn't like. But he likes their entertainment very much.
Okay.
He's a closet queen, my dad.
Yeah.
My dad was seeing drag shows in the '60s.
What did the Genovese crime family / the mafia have to do with drag?
They would have had put on some wigs or something in some heist.
Yeah.
And people would have gone, that was good.
Okay.
They pulled that off. And they were like, hey, bada bing, bada boom.
Okay.
I'm a mafioso.
When did the Stonewall riots happen? What were they and where?
Okay, the Stonewall riots Stonewall was a nightclub in New York. Mm-hmm. And what happened was the police went in there just busted the place up and arrested a whole lot of people and sort of clubbed a few people.
You know when it was?
I think it was the late 70s. Mm-hmm. And I'll go late 70s. I'll go 1970s.
What was the significance of it?
Well, the gay community fought back and protested and fought for their rights. And I was that the time where homosexuality stopped being illegal or something like that? I'm not up to date on these things, but
we'll see.
Maybe that was a turning point in gay revolution. It was definitely a turning point in the gay revolution.
Who is Marsha P. Johnson?
The same answer as all of them. RuPaul.
Okay. What is a drag mother?
Oh, a drag mother is like when you're a young drag queen and you come into the drag community, because like when you're a comedian, right?
Yeah.
You come into the comedy club and some older comedian comes up and goes, "This is what you're doing wrong." Right? You got to stop doing that. You got to move the microphone stand. Don't talk to the audience so much and have more faith in your material and all that type of stuff. And I believe a drag mother comes along because there would be loads of hacks in the drag community. There'd be like the top echelons.
I don't know. Is there?
No. There's you have your top echelons, your Trixie Mattels and your Courtney Axe and all this type of people, and then you'd have these people who are just like you just got a crooked wig and you've got your eyeliners all over the fucking joint.
Yeah, there's hacks in every job.
Yeah. So when one of these young people show a bit of promise, the older drag queens will become the drag mother to that younger drag queen and take them under their wing and say, "This is how you tuck your penis between your legs so you can't be seen."
Okay. What types of things are included in a drag performance?
Lip syncing, dancing. You can be a fishy queen and do beauty contests.
Yeah.
But the main sort of stand-up comedy, dancing, and lip syncing is your meat and potatoes drag thing. And then they'll do things like if you go down to Betty'sburg, what is it called? The one in
Hamburger
Betty's?
Hamburger Mary's.
Hamburger Mary's. They do like drag bingo. They do other drag activities, you know what I mean? Like where the drag queens will just, drag doorman will kick you out if you, I don't know. But they do different things. But your meat and potato, singing, dancing, stand-up comedy. Can
women do drag?
I believe they can, but I'm sure there's a portion of our society that say they can't, and that it's the whole thing. But I'm yet to see on RuPaul's Drag Race, and I haven't yet to see a heterosexual do drag. And obviously heterosexuals can do drag. But I believe a woman can do a form of drag, yeah. And then sometimes you'll see, like, there's one called Milk that I always found fascinating. And Milk would sometimes do drag where he would dress up as sort of an effeminate man or something. Or he would do, like, a woman with a beard. He'd do more avant-garde things like that. And so that's also a thing as well.
What helped bring drag to the mainstream as we know it today?
I would say RuPaul helped bring it into the mainstream just way before RuPaul's Drag Race with like Supermodel and what's that other song she had that CoverGirl, CoverGirl, you got to work it.
I don't know what the name of it is.
Yeah, but I was like, that was the 90s, and I remember being a teenager going, all right, yeah, she looks all right. You know what I mean? But I knew it was a man, but I still remember being more comfortable after RuPaul as a teenager growing up in,
Yeah. What is Wigstock?
Wigstock would be like drag festival, like Woodstock, but for drag performers.
Divine, a legend out of Baltimore, is known as the inspiration for what popular children's movie character? Do you know Divine?
Yeah, I'm trying to... Popular children... it might be homophobic if I say like Tinky Winky or something like that, because they thought Tinky Winky might
like
be...
a Disney character.
Oh,
so think like classic Disney movies.
I think I know this one, but I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. What were the Harlem drag balls?
Cruella de Vil.
Cruella de Vil? Okay.
That's what I'm going for.
What were the Harlem drag balls?
That would have been the first group of black drag queens who got together from Harlem. Look, I might be racist in saying, but I'm just guessing this answer. The first group of black drag queens.
RuPaul's big break was said to be in which music video?
CoverGirl.
Okay. When did RuPaul's Drag Race premiere?
I would say because it wasn't in high def and it was still box screen.
I think I remember this because I remember who I was dating.
I'm going to say 2004.
Okay. How much money does an average drag queen spend on their signature look?
Oh, $5,000.
$5,000. Name as many drag queens as you can.
Okay, so God,
not ones you make up.
Yeah, it's been a while. All right, so let's start. Okay, so I've already said Milk. I've already said Trixie Mattel. I've already said Courtney Act. RuPaul. What's her name? The bunny. What's her name? Who was RuPaul's best friend back in New York in the day?
No,
she always counts. Who was? Who's that? The one, the big black girl, and she sang like she was pregnant. What was her name?
We met someone at that bar in Minneapolis.
Oh no,
Remember,
look.
we met someone
you
from
just put me on the
Drag
spot.
Race.
If I had half an hour to sit and think about this,
Okay, it's fine. Well, it's not.
I have a Trixie Mattel story.
Yeah, well, we can get to that, but let's get through these.
Well,
first.
Joseph might like it.
Yeah, we'll get to it, but let's get through the questions first.
We were at Lisa Vanderpump's birthday. Like you don't get much draggier than that.
We'll get to it for sure. What is this quiz? Is Jim taking this quiz?
Jim can take a quiz, see which.
But how does this quiz work? Because
click on it.
I did click on it.
Yeah. Now just read the question, give him those 4 answers.
This question right here?
Yeah.
Should I do it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a quiz. Which challenge are you most excited for? Snatch game, design challenge, rusical, or lip sync performances?
Snatch game because I'm a comedian and it's the same as the match game and you get to do the I thought he said big penis like that. Right? I can do that.
I clicked on that. It's finally time for Snatch game. What character are you choosing? Someone not a lot of people know. A new pop star would be the best option. A classic diva. A bold choice, maybe Michelle.
Classic diva. Classic. I would do Liza Minnelli or something
Classic
like that.
diva.
I would do like, oh God, darling, what are we doing? Oh, there's no bit. I'd do that. I'd do the whole thing. I'd be drunk the whole time and be propped up and all that type of stuff. The messy queen. That's what you got to do for the Snatch game.
Yeah.
Messy queen's your best option for laughs.
Who's your favorite judge? Michelle, she's so sassy, I love it. Ross Matthews, how could you not love his jokes? Rue, is that even a question? Santino Rice, please bring him back.
Okay, I have an issue with this because I was an avid RuPaul's Drag Race and I knew everything about it at the time. And so we put out a few tweets back in the day where I requested to be a RuPaul's Drag Race.
Thought you're funnier than Ross?
No, I met Ross and I said, can you put in a word for me? He goes, I think you'd be great. Like that, right? And so I was like,
But you're taking his spot.
No, because they always have a person come in. They'll have like some girl off Modern Family or something like that.
And I had a friend working there who was trying to fight for you too.
My friend's husband's the director.
Yeah. Your friend's husband's
never going to be a judge.
You had a friend working there. Our show was on the same studio lot as RuPaul's Drag Race. They could have just broken glass and I would have come out like I'm a judge, right? And the heterophobic. I'm throwing it out there.
Who's your favorite judge?
Michelle Visage, because she keeps it real and she sort of says all the things. And
Choose a song to lip sync to. 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton, I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor, Teenage Dream by Katy Perry, Truth Hurts by Lizzo.
No, 9 to 5 Dolly Parton. No, I'm an old classic queen.
Which runway theme are you most excited for? Pretty in Pink, Neon Queen Realness, Hats Incredible, or Flower Power?
Hat's incredible.
Yeah, not to. Yeah, well, no, but after what I paid for that wig, I don't want to wear a hat.
That's a good point.
Pretty in Pink, Neon Queen Realness, Hats Incredible, Flower Power.
Neon Pink, Neon Queen Realness.
Okay. Lastly, what's your favorite runway song? CoverGirl, Snapshot, Sissy That Walk. Category is
Sissy That Walk, man.
Okay, and Trixie Mattel.
You're Trixie Mattel.
Trixie Mattel. Ooh, honey.
Yay.
You got Trixie Mattel. You're comedy queen at heart, and you know how to make the others laugh just like Trixie. You're also extremely musically talented. Congrats.
Bianca
that's all
Del Rio.
accurate.
Bianca Del Rio is probably the most successful stand-up comic drag queen.
Yeah, she tours. All right,
Yeah,
Joseph.
didn't your tour manager?
She toured to us, Bianca Del Rio.
Joseph, how did Jim do on his knowledge of drag? 0 through 10, 10 being the best.
I would say he did a solid 6.
All right.
6. All right. Really good. Yeah.
I'm all right.
All right. How are you doing confidence?
I think my history was bad. My history was bad.
I think your history was bad too, but your enthusiasm was great. I'm going to give you a 9.
Ooh.
9. That's 15.
I'll tell you what, I bet you there's a lot of drag queen whose their history was no better than mine.
Yeah. I'm going to let you stay. I'm going to give you 10. I'll
It's
take
like,
you stay.
like, remember, I didn't know anything about stand-up comedy either.
Yeah.
All right, Joseph. What is drag? Jim said men dress as women for comic or beauty pageant, fun and entertainment. Is that close?
That is close. So basically, drag as we know it now is an over-heightened version of the female or a male if it's a woman doing a drag king. But basically, it kind of formed. There's 2 theories. Nobody knows where the word drag came from, but the 2 theories are basically that back in the late 1800s, men, when they would dress up for plays and stuff, they would have like a long petticoat and it would drag to the ground. So they called it their drags. And the other one is dressed resembling as a girl. So DRAG, kind of like an acronym.
Hey, did everyone? This is funny in the car ride. It's not funny, but in the car ride over today, there's a politician who's trying to ban drag shows in one of the states.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Kansas City is a
and he's getting and then there's like you can't have a drag show within 500 meters of a school.
It's like a new
shit.
mandate
like,
for the right wing.
Yeah,
get the fuck out of here. What are you worried about?
Crazy.
They think that's the problem.
Yeah.
So, wait, did you say drag kings? I'm not even familiar with drag kings. Is that a huge community?
Yeah, drag kings are just women who are dressing as males. So that is the drag king format. And then also there's female impersonators. So a lot of times if somebody's using the term female impersonator, they are just trying to be the closest version to a female when they are performing. Whereas a drag queen is over accentuating. It might be, bigger, crazy makeup like Trixie, like you see. But that's kind of like the two differentiations between a female impersonator and then a drag queen.
Yeah. Is there like, so in that community, would a drag queen versus
Sharon Needles is another one.
Would a drag queen versus
Alaska
a female impersonator, would they be at odds sometimes? Like if they were in the same competition, like a competition or something like that? Or because
not necessarily, because they do have competitions just strictly like, for female impersonators, kind of like a Miss Continental or something, which is more in that range. But no, there's not necessarily a, I guess you would say a rivalry, but I will say that either a drag queen or a female impersonator can get offended if you use the incorrect terminology.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna brag. I was Miami's ultimate comedian one year.
Whoa!
It was this casino.
It was a size competition.
Yeah. This casino, Miami's Magic City Casino. They had the ultimate Miami everything. That ultimate Miami comedian, bartender, band, singer, and so forth. And they had a drag queen competition, and the person that won. There was controversy, they said, and I think what they were saying is she was a female impersonator and not a drag queen because I remember there was some controversy there in that one, but I don't know.
So with the drag kings, if I see like a woman who's dressed in men's clothing, am I allowed to say you're a drag king? I feel like that's a landmine waiting to go off. Right? I get in trouble there.
I don't know.
Because men's clothes are so boring. It's just like a suit with a thing. That could just be a woman wearing a suit. Where if you're wearing a dress, a dress is a dress, man.
It's probably the same rule as pregnant women. Like you don't say congratulations.
If you guys look up Landon Cider, like Landon Cider is a really good example of what a drag king is. And she kind of paints all out in very extreme ways.
Give me a look at Landon.
Yeah, I mean that's.
I'll tell you what's going on with Landon.
This is like there.
Super talented.
Oh, that's a girl dressed as a guy, is it?
Yeah, that's definitely. You're not going to be like, are you wearing a suit?
Yeah, but she's going for that guy who sings with Queen now type of a look.
Adam
Lambert.
Yeah, going for a Lambert. Yeah. No, but it is. That's the thing.
But you're not going to mistake. But there's effort put in there. It's not just they throw on a suit.
No.
There's no effort. That'd be a guy.
I might be the laziest drag queen in the world.
Drag king.
I'm just like, she's just a chick who wears hats and hasn't done her upper lip, and she's big into t-shirts. Yeah. Sandy bollocks.
What are the origins of female impersonation? Jim says it goes back a very long time, maybe to the Pharaohs.
Yeah, there would have been a bit of Pharaohs.
Yeah. Female impersonation, it kind of went back. The earliest kind of recorded was around the 13th century. And that was kind of like the first actually recorded things, but it more so was men dressing up as women for plays, like Shakespeare plays and stuff. And that was kind of how that was until the late 1800s, early 1900s. And then it kind of started switching because then they started allowing women to act in plays and act and, have more roles. And the men then started doing drag as a more heightened version and a more comedic version in order to differentiate themselves from the women.
So with the pantomimes in the UK, was that a big thing for it?
Oh, you're talking about like the panto? Oh, yeah. Panto dames and everything, yeah.
Okay, so you don't know what that is, right? Okay, so in Britain they have these things called pantos.
I think you've mentioned the show.
Short for pantomimes, and everyone does them. Every single town hall in every single village will have a pantomime for the whole month of December, right? And then there'll be things like Jack and the Beanstalk or Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And if you can get real dwarfs, then you've got like that's a high end.
Jackpot. Yeah.
And all the people, all the actors are like someone who was off Home and Away or Neighbours or Hollyoaks or Coronation Street, EastEnders, just so they made so much money off the pantos in December that sort of substitute their wages. But they have this thing in there called pantomime dames, which are sort of big burly blokes dressed in dresses that come like this and go, "Oh, look, the king looks rather fetching," like that, right? That's the whole thing. And then they might go, "Where is that little rat?" And they'll go, "It's behind you." The audience has to yell out, "It's behind you," and then they turn around and then they go, "It's not behind me, it's a whole thing.
Sounds like Dora the Explorer.
Oh, it's shit. It's shit. And the British people fucking love it. It's like an idiosyncrasy of the Brits. They fucking love pantomime. Anyway.
Who is, I'm saying his name right, who is Julian Eltinge? Jim said,
yes, you got it right.
Father of the drag community.
Julian was basically an actor in the early 1900s, and one of his big part in a lot of the films that he did was dressing as a woman, and it did become extremely popular. He became literally the most paid actor during that time frame, and he also had he was so big, he had his own magazine, he had his own facial cream, but the movie studios needed him every time that he was outside of the studio. His male persona had to be as masculine as possible. So they wanted to make sure that there was a clear, distinct differentiation between him on screen as a woman and then him outside of the screen. So if they always wanted him to take boxing classes, he also always wanted to be photographed with a cigar.
Was like homosexuality would have been illegal back then? Was that the reason that they were just covering their ass legally by going, "Look how macho he is"?
I think it was kind of like a combo. It was the first time that there had technically been somebody in main media as a male to a female. And then I think also it was illegal. It was not the right thing at the right time either.
Yeah. I'm looking
Wasn't he was paid more than Charlie Chaplin at the time, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you were in the right
lots.
little era
That's
there.
the thing, man. And women want pay equality. Look how well they did back in the day, man.
When did drag make the transition into gay culture? Jim said maybe the 60s.
Yeah, I mean, it was the 60s when things started coming around. That's kind of when we get into Stonewall and all of that.
You can talk about that.
I was
wrong with the 70s, right? I was a decade out. Okay.
We can jump around.
Yeah, yes. Oh, yeah, you're totally fine. Yeah, so Stonewall happened in 69. So kind of in the 50s, 60s, I would say, would be the time when it kind of became more in the gay mainstream in America.
Yeah, and then Stonewall, we can talk about that. That was, it was a nightclub in New York, and police went, what happened there, and what was the significance of that? Yeah.
So basically, you had asked the mafia question before.
Oh, yeah. Should we ask that first? I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Is that in the right order?
Yeah, you're fine. No. So it kind of all relates. So basically, the mafia owned a lot of gay bars and a lot of bars within New York and the New York scene. And what would happen is they would kind of play their clientele to have gay people there. And when they would get the gay people in their bars, they would basically kind of be like, "We know this about you now. We can tell the police you are a high profile person. You need to keep paying us and keep coming to this bar as a customer, or we are going to tell the police." So it more so was they were working with the police as well and paying the police off so they wouldn't have raids and have things happening. But then they were telling their gay clientele that they needed to pay them in order to keep their identity safe. So the mafia kind of played hand in hand with the gay bars during the 60s. So the police ended up raiding in 69 Stonewall. They did it one night and they came through. And what they did is they did a little small raid. And then a week later, they were going to do the big raid to then end up closing down Stonewall. So when that big raid happened, it's when all of the gay patrons and the drag queens and everybody started fighting back, because back then you couldn't even dress as a girl. And if you were caught dressed as another gender, it was known as masquerading. And if you were masquerading as the other gender, then you could be arrested. So a lot of the drag queens and stuff during that were put into the cars to be arrested. And then things started getting a little bit violent. and cans and things were thrown. They always say that there was a first brick thrown at Stonewall, but nobody knows who technically threw the first brick. Yeah.
Wow.
Who is? It was probably a man. They're pretty heavy bricks.
Yeah. Who is Marsha P. Johnson? Not RuPaul. That's yeah.
Marsha B. Johnson was the one who she was known as throwing the first block at Stonewall.
Marsha.
However, she went on later to say that she never actually threw the first brick. She came a little bit later once the riot was happening, but she was a transgender woman of color who was amazing in starting with a lot of different organizations to bring gay liberation to the front. She also ended up
I've seen a documentary on her. This one
she was known as the mayor of Christopher Street, which is a gay street in New York. And unfortunately, in the early 90s, they found her body in a river, and it was said that it was suicide. However, years and years later, people are starting to believe that she was killed by somebody.
Wow.
You watch too many documentaries, Jim, because you've seen a documentary on her and you just didn't remember.
I don't remember the name.
Yeah, I know, but you watch a lot of documentaries.
I watch every documentary that comes out.
Yeah. So you can't retain all the information.
You just jogged his memory. You're like, wait a second.
I know
everything.
Yeah, down by the river. And I remember that.
All right. And so it never was solved, or they just left it as a...
No, they didn't want to investigate it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
What is a drag mother? Jim says when a young drag queen comes in to the community and someone older comes along, takes you under their wing, kind of thing, the way he described it.
Very good job, Jim. You got that to a T.
Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you.
Under the wing. Yeah. Did it. What types of things are included in drag performances? You lip sync, dance, fishy queen beauty contests, comedy, and drag bingo.
Yeah, drag bingo.
What's drag bingo?
Also did a very good job of that. I will tell you, though, that we can no longer use the word fishy.
What's this world come to?
So basically, fishy is what you refer to as when a drag queen is extremely feminine and they're looking like a woman. However, for a woman who is not, I guess you would say for a naturally born woman to say something as fishy is offensive. Because
their
that's
vaginas smell like
being
fish.
Stinky. So,
but how did the gays know that? That was our information.
right?
We shouldn't have told you.
All right. So what do you say now?
So he did everything right there. It's a lot of mega mixes. If it's at a normal bar, then it will be normally 2 numbers that they perform. Dancing, high kicks, splits, kicks, gymnastics, all of that. And then, of course, you have your comedy queens who might come out with sets. You have your fashion queens who might just be more walking through and, more of a stop and stare type song. And then you have your brunches and your bingos and stuff.
Wait, what's bingo, though? Is this
bingo? You just play bingo.
Oh, okay. I thought it was some
it's
other...
bingo, but every letter has a different thing you can say. So when it's 069, you have a phrase you say after it. So you might be oh yeah, or you kind of okay. The drag queen is more involved in the numbers.
They did call it tranny bingo up until recently. I'm not trying to call them out, but that's the truth.
Okay.
That is, right? Am I wrong?
I don't know. I just found out about
I'm just saying, I look, I know you can't say that word anymore, but I'm still upset about fishy.
Yeah, I just found out about that.
Fishy's a new thing for me. I've been saying fishy on the regular.
What was that restaurant we went to in Orlando? We went to a restaurant. Remember me, you, and Nick?
Oh, there was just a restaurant that was open till 11 where all the waitresses were drag queens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a good restaurant. It was in Orlando.
I thought it was good. They had a bean casserole. It was good.
Yeah. Florida boy.
Love me a bean casserole.
Can women do drag?
Yes.
So, women can do drag. Yeah. So there's 2 different forms. You can have, we just talked about, drag kings. Yeah. Also, in a recent UK season, there was a queen on named Victoria Scone, and she is cisgender. And she identifies as a lesbian, but she dresses as an over-heightened version of the female. So she is still dressing in drag, but it's the over-heightened version. So yeah, totally.
And okay, so what's the show? God, because I'll get to that later when we get to another question. All right, what helped bring drag to the mainstream as we know it today? Jim says RuPaul back in the 90s.
Yeah, I will say RuPaul was a big force. I also think that a lot of the movies back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s were also very beneficial, like a Miss Doubtfire, a Tootsie, when you had Marilyn Monroe and Some Like It Hot. Those were kind of introducing
to Wong Fu.
A male as a female, and it kind of added to acceptance. But RuPaul was the one who kind of like pushed
me,
it
Forrest, and Jack recently in the last 6 months or so sat down and watched 2 Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. We decided to watch that film.
Yeah, I've never seen it before.
What it was piggybacking on the back of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and the
Wasn't around Birdcage too, right?
Yeah,
I know it was before.
Yeah, it was. I think it was after, or maybe before Birdcage, but it was after. It was after Priscilla. The Americans went, "Oh, we'll give it a crack," and they misfired on that one. It wasn't good.
Right, let me see. I screenshotted the notes the sheriff.
Oh yeah, the sheriff wrote down of notes of where to find homosexuals, and it was like flower shop.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It was a very.
Who played the sheriff too?
It was like, Sean Penn's brother.
Sean,
the guy who danced on Footloose.
Yeah, places for homos.
Yeah,
flower
this is
shops,
a quote from the movie.
This is the list: flower shops, ballet schools, flight attendants, lounges, restaurants for brunch, and then the last one. It's looking like it's about to be like antique shop or something.
Antique shops, yeah, that's where you find them. And he was trying to find homosexuals in the town, so he went to all the flower shops and antique stores.
He's just writing it on a clipboard on the hood of his car.
Yeah, that movie was terrible.
That movie was Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, very good film.
It was kind of like Three Amigos. That's what they were doing. Well, anyways, a little bit.
Look, but RuPaul comes out at the end of 2 Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, in a Confederation flag dress, and that's an iconic picture.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
A black woman dressed in a Confederate, like it was taking the piss from all angles in that last little scene.
Yeah. What is Wigstock? Is that a drag festival?
It is.
You are very close.
Like a Comic-Con,
so basically in the 80s, there was a group of drag queens with Lady Bunny, who
Lady
you also
Bunny, that was
about.
the fucking one.
And they were at the Pyramid Club, which was a popular club in New York during the time. It was a gay club. And they got extremely drunk and they wanted to put on a drag show in the local park. So they went to the park, they kind of put on a drag show. They saw that people were actually interested, and then continually year after year, they kind of like amped it up, made it more, and then they ended up advertising it more. But then Rudy Giuliani kind of got involved in this whole thing and didn't want any drag queens performing in parks. So they tried to ban it, and it was a whole big thing. And I think it was a couple of years ago, they redid like an anniversary, and they came back out and they did a whole documentary with Neil Patrick Harris as well.
Now, how do you find out that you're good at drag? Does it start like you're at home? Because I found out I was good at comedy because my friends laughed at me and my family laughed at me, and then I thought I could make other people laugh, and you expand it like that. So there must be one party where you go, I'm going to wear a wig and a bit of makeup and see how this goes, and then you expand it. Like, okay, another question. Could I, being me, walk into a drag bar right now and go, I want to give it a go, and I'm going to take it very seriously? Would they let me?
Yeah, I think that depending on where you go, I honestly think that they would.
Someone said sign down and the thing. We can still see it, but this happened on the screen. If we can get rid of that off the screen. So what would I have to do? Is there open mic nights?
Yes, they have a lot of amateur nights. They have nights. A lot of the queens that have been on RuPaul's Drag Race have said in interviews that I've done that they went to like a local night, a Monday through Thursday night, and they just went up to whoever the queen was and was like, hey, I'm really interested in drag. Would you mind being my drag mother? And then that's how they started forming their drag career.
Who's the one that does this all the time?
1 second. Aaron, is that you? Who's got that thing on the screen? It says signed out. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Who does that one that I used to like? She was more of a dance one. She used to go like this. She used to in the mirror. She used to click her tongue. What's that one?
Oh, Alyssa Edwards.
Alyssa Edwards. I always liked Alyssa Edwards. Bit of fun, Alyssa.
She's great.
Divine, a legend out of Baltimore, is known as inspiration for what popular children's movie character? Is it Cruella de Vil?
It is Ursula in The Little Mermaid.
So I thought. Ursula. Yeah. There you go.
I'll tell you who was officially
So-
queen, the Little Mermaid.
Yeah, Divine was also in Hairspray. She was in a lot of John Waters movies, so she was Edna in Hairspray. The original.
I sat next to John Waters when I was on the Bill Maher show. It's the only time I've met John Waters, and you were there.
I was there.
Right? I was there. And so John Waters was sitting there with his little thin moustache and like very poised.
He came with jokes.
We go
He has some good jokes.
and then I told Piers Morgan to fuck off, and I gave him the finger, and all hell broke loose. It was live television, right, in the studio, and I remember John Walters like just went, "Okay,
Walters,
settle down, boys." John, he thought that I was being too outrageous.
Do you remember what he did at the after party?
He gave me some anal bleach.
Yeah.
What?
He gave me a tube of anal bleach.
Well, Bill Maher was there, and he was like trying to kind of like comment, like, all right, let's cover anything that. And John Waters was just coming to say like goodbye, thanks for having me on the show. And he handed like a packet to you and Bill Maher, and he's like, here's some anal bleach, guys. Just
Because like Piers Morgan was over the other side of the room and he wasn't talking to me, and Bill Maher gets out of his suit and he looks like an old rocker, like he's wearing like a denim shirt with a necklace. He's dressed like Jack, you know. And then Bill Maher was a bit like, I don't think you should have given him the finger, and I'm really worried about like they used it as their fucking advert for that week.
No,
They did
excellent
publicity
clip.
shots of it all over the place. But anyway, and Bill's been very nice to me. But then like John Waters came up and gave me some anal bleach, so appreciate it.
Did you ever use it?
Solid day.
I don't know where it is. It's in a box somewhere. It's ready to go. How long does that stuff last?
I don't know, but John Waters.
Hopefully
I
it
wouldn't.
didn't
I
leak
wouldn't put it
anywhere.
in your asshole.
Well, yeah, for me, I have open hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
You don't want to put it
You
in
got
there.
wounds.
I'll get bleach poisoning.
Yeah,
I've already dyed it red.
That went a long way. The thing that, and then we went to the Elton John thing, and the guy recognized you.
Oh yeah, I was sitting next to Forrest and I was all drunk and I was like, and I pushed him. I was like, fuck off, Forrest, like this. Right?
No. You sat down first.
Yeah.
We went to an Elton John concert together.
Yeah.
You were going to bring a woman.
Yeah,
And then that
didn't work out.
Yeah. So he brought me instead.
yeah,
We went to Vegas with DJ Qualls.
yeah,
He was off buying art or something.
yeah.
And then me and you went to Elton John concert.
DJ's a famous homosexual.
Yeah.
He didn't want to go to Elton John. We went.
Yeah. And then we went there, and then we sat between two couples,
Yeah,
two other guys.
yeah.
And you sat down and you just spilled someone's beer. Whole beer.
I spilled a whole pint on a guy's
You
lap.
hit them with a leg and you spilled the whole pint of beer in his lap. And he was like,
I was very drunk.
Yeah, I know.
I was embarrassingly drunk.
And I think they thought we were a couple. And he was so pissed at you. And then he was like, what the fuck? And you're like, I'm really sorry. I'll buy another beer. And he was so pissed. And then he just looked up and he goes, hey, are you guys that told Piers Morgan to fuck off? And he goes, oh, let me buy you a beer. Like, you just spilled a beer on him.
Yeah, I went from spilling a beer to buying a bloke a beer to getting a beer.
Yeah. And then
In that quick.
And then you hit me on the chest really hard. On the way out, you went pop, pop, pop. And you go, stay right here, honey. And then the couple next to me, the two guys next to me, the couple next to me said, you left and they asked me if I was okay.
Yeah, they thought Forrest was in an abusive relationship.
Yeah, I was like, I'm fine.
But I tell you what, also that Piers Morgan thing, second date with my wife. My wife was umming and ahhing about me. We'd been on a date and I was good enough for a second date. And then I told my wife, I said, I gave Piers Morgan the finger. And she goes, that was you. That was the moment she fell in love with me.
Oh.
So thank you, Piers. Thank you, Piers. You fucking piece of shit.
What were the Harlem Drag Balls? Was it the first group of black drag queens?
In a group, not
Yeah.
just the first individual one.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I will say that you're close in a way. So basically, the first drag queen who like identified as a drag queen was back in the late 80s, early 90s, and it was a former slave. Their name was William Dorsey, and
The late 80s and 90s was a former slave.
late 1800s.
Oh yes,
early
that's what-
1900s.
Oh yes,
that
yes,
is my
yes.
fault.
I'm up to date now.
Me too. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, wow.
I was
really
like,
old.
I hope we don't do an episode on slavery. I'm going to get everything wrong.
So he was technically the first person to self-identify as a queen of drag, and he started getting people together that were also former slaves, and they would dress up. And that kind of became known as balls. And he named everybody that came to that as the House of Swan after his last name. And that's kind of how houses became a thing. And then the Harlem Drag Balls ended up happening shortly after that. And that was just a communal place where people could come together and they could be who they are as drag queens or as themselves. And they started becoming extremely popular, that a lot of straight individuals would go to them, like very high up individuals, to be able to see the shows. But the cops, of course, did not like it. And it started becoming illegal and it was deemed as like immoral. So that happened. And then they became there was kind of like a revival of the drag balls in the 80s, 70s, 80s, and 90s.
And with the drag balls, did they ever like get like a bucket and you thought there was water in it, but it actually turned out to be confetti? No one's seen the Harlem Drag.
You're talking about the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to do a reference. Did they ever go to tuck their balls back and go boom, but then it's over the shoulder and they're back again?
That was the FX show. I'm just remembering right now. That was right. Isn't that one that chronicled that? And what was
Kids loved it.
What was the show on HBO? Is it still on right now?
You love that show, the Runway show?
Yeah. What the fuck is it called?
I can't think.
Which
of
one?
It's like they have the houses.
yeah.
The House of
House of Dragon.
Legendary.
Legendary.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Is that show still on Legendary? Because it was on a couple seasons.
No, it got canceled with HBO's canceling of the 90 million shows that they said that they were
I
gonna
watched
do.
it.
Forrest was a huge fan of that. Like, really sold me on watching it. Like, went into a whole diatribe of like, this is
It was
amazing.
good.
First of all, the guy is named Deshaun Wesley. He's not the host, but he was the MC. But he was so good.
So
that guy,
good.
follow that guy on Instagram. He is like so good at like just his rap, like whatever rap chant skill, whatever, like amazing. But now I didn't know that's where the house, when you just explained that, the house of comes from. That's interesting. So that was my question. On that first season of Legendary, there was a house. I don't remember what their house was, but it was all female. There was an all female troupe that was like the house. And they didn't eliminate them until like 2 or 3 episodes in, and I felt. So my thing was like, was that why? I just felt like historically, especially talking to you now, like I thought that might. I know they're going to be inclusive of that in the show, but it just seemed like historically that wasn't probably a thing where it was this whole female troupe, and I think they weren't going to eliminate them first show because they were like, well, we're not going to eliminate this all female troupe first show, but I felt like there was kind of cheating. So
No. I can see where you would think that. Yeah, because
that's my take. Legendary hot take here.
So do you reckon the Harlem Ball Draggers, reckon they ever did like tricks?
Harlem
okay.
drag balls.
I've run out of tricks anyway.
RuPaul's big break was said to be in which music video? Was it CoverGirl?
CoverGirl, supermodel of the world. Yeah.
Right.
Well, wasn't she also in Love Shack?
Oh yes, she was.
Yeah, but that wasn't
Yes,
a break. She was an extra in Love Shack.
Is that
Yeah,
what you
but
read
that's.
this
I think
question?
that's the first video
yeah.
she was ever in. So that was like.
I remember having a schoolyard
was in
debate
Love
because
Shack?
when Love Shack came out, I was about 13, and I remember going, I think the lead singer's gay, right? And then like my friend was like, no way. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure.
I didn't know she was in the Love Shack video.
It was a big debate.
Was it RuPaul? Okay.
I think that's the first time we saw her.
I'm going to have to watch. Okay. When did RuPaul's Drag Race premiere? Was it 2004?
It was 2009.
Not in my heart.
Hard to argue that.
In my heart, I was already feeling it in 2004.
Yeah, you knew it was coming.
There was an emptiness where I was like, something's going to fill this.
It took 5 years.
How much money does an average drag queen spend on their signature look?
5K.
Jim says 5,000.
It
Do we know?
depends. So there are some girls that are extremely good in making their own outfits. So
Frugal
we
queens.
recently had Raja O'Hara on Drag Race, and I believe she made her whole package of looks for $600, and she made them all herself, and they looked like designer, fabulous outfits. However, a lot of times when girls get on the show, they're spending 60, 70, 80, $100,000 on their outfits.
Where are
and
they
a lot
getting
of
the
them have
money?
taken out debts and loans, and they kind of like go into debt afterwards. But I would say, yeah, a couple of $1,000s, probably 3,000 to 5,000.
Yeah.
Because we had a tour bus driver who was driving us around, and his other job was he was driving the tour bus of the RuPaul's Drag Race
also
road show.
Also AEG. It was the same.
Yeah, we had the same tour manager, the same thing. So the bus driver used to do the bus, because I heard all about Alaska and Sharon Needles. They weren't getting along, and then Alaska slept with someone, and then something happened over here. And I'd heard all the tea, man. I fucking heard all. But then I said I was a big fan of the show, and I said, like, my girlfriend was a big fan of the show, and they all signed a poster for me, and it's still, Kate has that framed in her house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we got a soul signed tour poster from the RuPaul Drag Race.
You named some drag queens. You said Trixie Mattel. You had a story about Trixie Mattel you wanted to tell Joseph.
I've thought about, I'm going to tell you off the air, man, because Lisa's my friend. It was a private thing that happened with her birthday.
So I helped you out by stopping you?
Yeah, you did. Because now on reflection, I'm like, nah, I shouldn't do that, because me mate.
Forrest is a hero.
Vanderpump's me mate, man.
Okay.
But it's a story about me and Trixie
There's
sitting
two
there.
teases now. There's a name that's going to cancel you that you're not going to say.
Oh, no, I'm telling you that after. I'm not telling Joseph, though.
Yeah.
That's amongst just us.
Yeah, I know. But then the Lisa Vanderpump.
No, but me and Trixie are both friends with the pump, man.
You know Trixie through Lisa.
I only met Trixie at Lisa's 60-somethingth birthday, and I sat next to Trixie at the thing. But then our friend Justin Martindale is also friends with Trixie. I've got a lot of ins with Trixie, but I sat next to Trixie's husband, chatted to him for most of the time.
Yeah. I think people think it's. I don't think it kind of bends people's mind that you're friends with Lisa
People
Vanderpump.
think that because me and Lisa Vanderpump, we're besties, man. We call each other all the time. People think because me and Lisa Vanderpump are friends, that weirds people out more than anything. But you know what? We get a kick out of each other.
Yeah.
We like each other. I find her to be a funny lady, and she thinks I'm a bit of rough.
Are you a Lisa Vanderpump fan, Joseph?
I am.
Who
Of course,
isn't?
we got Pump right down the street. I mean,
I dine in Pump.
Tom Pump.
I dine in Pump with the dog sitting on me lap, mate. I sit there with Lisa, with a dog. People can't. I will tell you a story. There was this guy. So I was sitting there with Lisa in the middle of Pump, and there was a guy. I had an NBC sitcom that got sort of killed off by COVID. We were 6 days out from filming, and it was a multicam called Jefferies, and we had it all cast, and Anthony LaPaglia was playing my dad, and all this type of stuff.
Betsy Brandt.
And Betsy Brandt from Breaking Bad was playing my ex Kate, and we had it all ready to go. It was a really fun thing. Anyway, it gets cancelled. It gets delayed, and all this type of stuff. And then there's new management at NBC, and my show gets cancelled. But they'd built the sets, right? So I'm a little sore about it, as you would be. And so I'm sitting there, and there was this guy, and he came up with his husband, and I was sitting there with Lisa, and he worked for NBC, and he thought, what I'll do is I'll go up and I'll say hello to Jim, and then I can talk to Lisa, right? This NBC executive or whatever, right? It's something to do with contracts. And he walked up and he said, hello, Lisa. He goes, hey, Jim, I'm from NBC. We haven't met before, but I just want to say what a huge fan we are of you and how happy we are to have you in the NBC family. And I went, you cancelled my show fucking 3 months ago, mate. And he went, oh, did we? And then he goes, anyway, Lisa, it's such a pleasure to meet you. And then she goes, when are you going to finish the fucking contract on my dog show? That guy slithered away from the table. Okay, it's great to meet you all. Bye.
I made a bad choice.
Yeah. He walked into a hurricane. He did.
What's our restaurant in Vegas that we went to?
Well, there's Vanderpump.
No, the one we went to.
There's the one in the Paris, and then there's the one in Caesars.
That one.
My mom loves the Caesars one.
No, the one in Paris.
The one in Paris is beautiful. They're both beautiful.
We went and visited. We just got to walk in there and hang out. Everybody was outside, like, taking pictures, and we were, like, just in there. That was, like, one of the most famous I've ever felt at one point. Well, I was just like a scumbag.
I'll tell you,
You're like, we're going to go see Lisa. I go, all right. I just, like, we just flown into Vegas. I just, like, waddled over there. And then there was all these people lined out in front, like, just peering in there. I'm just sitting there with next to Ken with a drink. I was like, I didn't know there was going to be, like, all these people.
The last time you went there, it was so me and my wife, we had the baby with us, and we had Hank. No, we had Hank with us as well. So we had a baby, we had Hank, and we had Kate. So I had my ex with me. I had my whole tribe, right? And we walk into, Lisa invited us over to the restaurant, and then she's like, oh, the silly people at the Paris won't let children into the bar like this, right? And I go, well, I'm not going to give the kids drinks. Surely we can get a booth at the back and no one will know. And she goes, no, we can't. So this is the compromise we did. there's a little front bit with like sort of lattice with like roses growing over it. And so we made the children sit on the casino floor.
Yeah, safe.
On the other,
with a smoke.
On the other side, on the other side of the lattice, and me and Lisa sat on the other side, like in the bar on this side.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, it was the least discreet anyone famous has ever fucking looked. There was just 20 people just taking photos with their cameras over their heads like this, and we're just trying to have a chat. And it was just me, Lisa, and a 10-year-old.
Well, now is the part of our show called Dinner Party Facts, where we ask our expert to give us a fact, something obscure, interesting, that our audience can use to impress people about this topic. Do you have something for us, Joseph?
The thing that I have is that a lot of people, I guess it's a lot of people say when queens fall to the ground and they put their leg behind them, that it's a death drop. It is not a death drop. It's actually called a dip.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Yeah, why can't it be called a death drop?
You will offend a lot of people.
It feels... What, because it doesn't make a sound?
No, because basically it was known as a dip and it was brought about in ballroom culture. And then it kind of was like white people took a hold of it and then changed the whole name of it and then made it seem like it was their thing. So it's known as a dip.
Whenever I see that, my knees and my age, I'm like, I can't.
I like that you think it's your knees stopping you. I think you're like, when I was a younger man, I would have death dropped or dipped as it is. I don't want to upset anyone.
I think it's incredible. Any of the moves that are being done in the ballroom.
Just walking in heels you couldn't do. Walking in heels, that's you done.
I couldn't do any of this stuff. Some of the stuff I've seen especially on the show Legendary, some of the stuff I saw, I was just like, nah, I can't do any of that. But
well, thanks for being on the show, brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Real quick, the Joseph's show is called Sissy That Talk Show, and it's on YouTube on the Mom Podcasts Network. Please check that out. And I didn't promote your IG or do anything like that you want?
Yeah, it's all at Joseph A. Shepherd on everything: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all of it.
And it's Shepherd with an E, so it's SHEPHERD. So
correct.
There you go, and we'll have all that information so you can see it printed up too. But thank you for being on the podcast.
Thanks for being on the show, man. That was a good laugh. If you ever had a party and someone comes up to you and goes, "Hey, you want to see a death drop?" Go, "I don't know about that," and walk away. Good night, Australia.